Well, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be chatting through my 5 most anticipated releases for the rest of the year. I would say the second half of the year, but it's kind of past the midway point. So just releases that I'm excited about that have not come out yet. So the books that I have selected do tend to match the genres that I read. So a lot of mystery thriller in here, and then a little bit of contemporary and literary fiction as well. Also, I will be going through these books in order of their anticipated publication date, so you can kind of add them to your Goodreads list or add them to whatever anticipated release list you have and just see when they're matching into the rest of your anticipated releases, so you can map out when they're coming to your shelves as well. Alright, so the first book is the much anticipated third book from Paula Hawkins, which is called Slow Fire Burning, and it is going to be published on August 31st. I feel like I have seen this book on so many years, publication lists, and that it keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. So the anticipation for this book just keeps growing and growing and growing. Paula Hawkins, of course, is the author of Girl on the Train as well as Into the Water. I read Girl on the Train. I think I got halfway through Into the Water, and then I ended up DNFing it, but I feel like I might go back and read it because I did read it as an audiobook, and usually I end up preferring reading the physical copy of mysteries. Regardless, I did really enjoy Girl on the Train. So the description for this says, the scorching new thriller from the #1 New York Times bestselling author of Girl on the Train. When a young man is found gruesomely murdered in a London houseboat, it triggers questions about 3 women who knew him. Laura is a troubled one-night stand seen in the victim's home. Carla is the grief-stricken aunt, already mourning the recent death of yet another family member. And Miriam is a nosy neighbor, clearly keeping secrets from the police. 3 women with separate connections to the victim. 3 women who are, for different reasons, simmering with resentment. I do love mysteries set in the UK. I've never read a mystery that's set on a houseboat before, so I am really, really intrigued to pick it up. I'm going to predict right now that it has nothing to do with any of these 3 women, but maybe I'm wrong. Usually I feel like when they lay it out in the description like that, it is someone completely random or someone that the victim knew before. I don't know. Anyways, I'm very, very intrigued to pick it up, and I'm going to be definitely pre-ordering it and getting it on release day. The next book is the latest release by probably my favorite mystery author, if not one of my favorite mystery authors, and that is Alice Feeney, and she's coming out with a new book called Rock, Paper, Scissors on September 7th. She has also written Sometimes I Lie, as well as His and Hers, which I really enjoyed. She also has another book, I Know Who You Are, I believe, that I have never read. I have heard some things about the twist to that book that people really haven't enjoyed, but I have not read it, so I can't tell you what I think about the twist. But anyways, so the synopsis to this one says, think you know the person you married, think again. Things have been wrong for Mr. and Mrs. Wright for a long time. When Adam and Amelia went a weekend away in Scotland, it might be what their marriage needs. Self-confessed workaholic and screenwriter Adam Wright has lived with face blindness his whole life. He can't recognize friends or family or even his own wife. Every anniversary, the couple exchange traditional gifts, paper, cotton, pottery, tin, and each year, Adam's wife writes him a letter that she never lets him read. Until now. They both know this weekend will make or break their marriage, but they didn't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying, and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. 10 years of marriage, 10 years of secrets, and an anniversary they will never forget. This sounds so much like Alice Feeney. She always writes domestic messed up families. She tends to write books where people are keeping huge secrets from everybody else, which is also a common mystery trope, but I feel like with hers, it's married people that don't know anything about each other. Anyways, I'm really pumped to read that one as well. Also coming out on September 7th, we have the newest Sally Rooney. So I have just read Normal People. I have not read Conversations with Friends, but Sally Rooney is a contemporary Irish author. She often writes books about relationships between people that don't communicate well and have very twisted paths and have a lot of complications to their relationship. And sometimes it drives me up the wall, but sometimes I really, really love it. And I've heard really fantastic things about this new release. It is called Beautiful World, Where Are You? And the synopsis says, Alice, a novelist, meets Felix, who works in a warehouse, and asks him if he'd like to travel to Rome with her. In Dublin, her best friend Eileen is getting over a breakup and slips back into flirting with Simon, a man she has known since childhood. Alice, Felix, Eileen, and Simon are still young, but life is catching up with them. They desire each other, they delude each other, they get together, they break apart. They have sex, they worry about sex. They worry about their friendships in the world they live in. Are they standing in the last lighted room before the darkness, bearing witness to something? Will they find a way to believe in a beautiful world? It sounds so on brand for Sally Rooney. Next up is Colson Whitehead's newest release, which is called Harlem Shuffle. So I haven't actually read either of his previous books, but he won the Pulitzer Prize for both of them, which I cannot think of another author who's won the Pulitzer Prize 2 times. So I'm sure there are some. Let me know if you know in the comments down below, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. So I'm planning to read his newest release, and then if I really enjoy his writing, I will go back and read his other books. So the synopsis of this is pretty long, so I'm just going to briefly summarize, but basically it's about this guy named Ray Carney. He lives in New York City, and this book is set in Harlem in the 1960s. He's married to this lady named Elizabeth. They're kind of struggling, cash is tight, but they generally are happy. Then he falls in with this crowd and ends up planning to rob a hotel, and it's kind of about the aftermath of that. I am certainly intrigued, so I'm definitely going to be picking it up. And my last most anticipated release for this list is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, which comes out September 21st. As you guys know, we read TJ Klune's first book, The House in the Cerulean Sea, for Tea Leaves, and we all absolutely loved it and gave it 5 stars. Actually, I think I gave it 4.5 stars because the epilogue was too cheesy. Now it's coming back to me. I remember this is a whole drama. But anyways, it was fantastic. I really, really loved it. And I will read anything that he writes. So the synopsis says, when a reaper comes to collect Wallace Price from his own funeral, Wallace suspects he might really be dead. Instead of leading him directly to the afterlife, the reaper takes him to a small village. On the outskirts, off the path through the woods, tucked between mountains, is a particular tea shop run by a man named Hugo. Hugo is the tea shop's owner to locals and the ferryman to souls who need to cross over. But Wallace isn't ready to abandon the life he barely lived. With Hugo's help, he finally starts to learn about all the things he missed. When the manager, a curious and powerful being, arrives at the tea shop and gives Wallace 1 week to cross over, Wallace sets about living a lifetime in 7 days. By turns heartwarming and heartbreaking, this absorbing tale of grief and hope is told with TJ Klune's signature warmth, humor, and extraordinary empathy. It sounds like everything I need in my life right now, and it just sounds like pure joy, which is what his first book was. So I'm really, really excited for it. And I feel like in that September fall time is the perfect time because I feel like everyone needs like a pick-me-up at that time of the year. So alrighty guys, that is it for this video. This was longer than anticipated. I just like really enjoyed getting excited about all these books that are coming up. Please let me know in the comments down below what your most anticipated books for the rest of the year are. Are you going to read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? If so, which ones sound most intriguing to you? And I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.